Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Thoughts to Think About. I'm Efrain.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Reid.
And we've got some thoughts for you to think about today. Thoughts for you to think about today. Welcome back.
Angels.
Welcome back, angels. Look at you, you sweet angels here.
Sweet angels.
No, you guys aren't angels.
Reid, what do you think about angels, man? Do you have some... Wow.
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad today.
Why are you mad about
I'm actually
angels?
mad a lot all the time about stuff.
You're not
It's
wrong.
your brand, man. It's your brand. We discussed this.
Yeah, so angels. I've just been seeing a lot on the internet about angels, man. I feel like we really got into it like we're radio show hosts, you know?
Straight
like
on
just
in.
now.
Diving right
I have to draw it back
that's
because it
literally
feels like
all
we're way too into it now. We're too serious.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
They'll keep up.
Angels.
They'll keep up.
It's okay, Reid.
Angels all around us. The problem I have, there's this meme on the internet right now, like especially on Reddit. I don't know if it's like seeped into all of these other platforms, but there's this meme where it's like, oh, people draw angels the wrong way. Like they depict angels the wrong way. They're not people with wings and halos and all that. And, you know, part of that is true, right? You know, like angels aren't necessarily like winged creatures flying around.
Okay, yeah.
With like halos and they're all white with a harp and all like golden auras.
Or
and
naked
stuff.
babies.
Or naked,
Or
like,
the little cherubs.
Cupid or whatever.
Cupid.
Yeah. Is Cupid an angel?
I think so. It's got wings.
I think so.
He's got a little bow. So
Or he
maybe
had
that
a
makes
Red
him
Bull.
different. It seems like he's got, something else going on. There's something.
Would he be a fairy? Like a
Or is
love
he
fairy?
or is he a Greek god? He's not a Greek god, is he? Cupid?
No,
Or Roman god?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think Roman.
What?
Roman,
have-
right? No, I think it is.
Do they have Roman?
Cupid,
Yeah.
the ancient Roman god of love.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Huh.
Boom. So who's his
Efrain, you're so smart. Wow.
Nobody knows. It's a secret. I'm really good at hiding it.
Congrats to you.
So who's his
Eros.
Eros? Oh, duh.
It's the
Yeah,
Greek,
it's the Greek one.
I
Duh.
think.
Yeah, so Cupid is
Yeah.
the Roman god of love. Yes, that's
Right.
what I thought. Lil G. Sorry, sucker.
Hey. Yeah, correction right
Lil
there.
G. So yeah. So angels, right?
Right. Yeah. So there's this meme. Everybody's like, oh, nobody ever draws angels the right way. If you read the Bible, like this is the thing they always want to say is if you read the Bible, you'll know that angels are actually terrifying, right? Because it says, do not be afraid. Every angel's like, do not be afraid.
Right.
And then they go and they'd start describing angels as like, there's all these, like their bodies are wheels with like all these eyes all over them. And they've got like 6 wings and
So
they're
they go
like
straight to Ezekiel,
right.
or
Say
they go
that's
straight to
depicted in
Revelation
Ezekiel.
3,
Right.
right?
I just want to set the record straight,
Oh, God.
okay? Because this makes me mad because no one online, everybody on, it's just, man, people, I'm so mad. People online, especially on
gosh.
Reddit, especially on Reddit, people on Reddit like to just like assume that they know everything. Like it's a hive mind, right?
Why not? Yeah.
It's a hive mind. Like they read somebody else's description of something and they're like, yeah, that must be right. So now I'm going to go and tell somebody else that this is right. And then they tell somebody else. And it's just like a hive mind. And
Why would I not look it up for myself? Like I could just go on the internet and find someone else's opinion that sounds right and then I'll adopt it as my own.
When you just regurgitate
Easy
what
peasy.
you've seen somebody else say, and it just becomes a really bad game of telephone. you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Right. So the meme is like everybody is like dead set sold on the idea that every angel that appears in the Bible looks like a seraphim or like one of the other heavenly beings that's like weird looking and like we can't comprehend because we're 3-dimensional and like they are outside of like our dimensions, you know?
Right. So go ahead and set the record straight for us.
Yeah.
Tell us here on this episode of Thoughts to Think About. What
This is your opinion that you can hear from us and you take it as your own. Don't
Right.
look it up for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Continue the trend.
It's very clear. It's very clear in the Bible.
Read
If you
yourself.
read through the Bible, there are depictions of
read
angels.
the Bible.
If you just read it, you dirty heathens.
Whoa.
Sorry, let me pull back a little bit.
It's Christmas time, Reid.
Christmas time.
It's the season of peace.
Yeah. All right. Let me collect my. Okay.
He's just so angry.
I'm sorry.
So fired.
Yeah, if you read through, like, there's lots of times when they do appear like that, right? Where they're described like that, but usually it's in like a prophecy or a revelation of some kind. But when you see angels interacting with people, they are generally appearing like men, right? Like when those angels go and they save Lot and his family
in Sodom and Gomorrah,
right?
They come in as like soldiers or warriors.
They look like people, right?
The
We
angels
hear about
who were there at the tomb.
right? Angels
At
at
the
the
empty
tomb
tomb.
looked like people.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
They
good.
didn't even notice, right? Like,
Right.
They
Right,
didn't even
because
realize
no
that they
person.
weren't
Right.
people. They
Humans.
humans. Yeah, they
Right.
were not. But yeah,
The angel appeared to Mary.
Right. In a dream. Or Mary had a real angel. Not a real angel. I mean, it was a real angel.
but did
What I meant to say is that Mary had one appear in person.
Yeah,
Joseph had one in a
his
dream.
dream.
Right?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
did the angel that appeared to Mary say, "Fear not"?
Yeah.
That one did. Yes.
Yes.
Because the angels that appeared to the shepherds also said, "Fear not."
Right.
What about Joseph? Did that angel say, "Fear not"?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So like, what's the deal there? Like,
Right.
what kind of form were they taking at this point? You
Right.
know?
Well, I think with the shepherds specifically, it's like it does describe how there's like a choir of angels. They appear in the sky and they're singing and they're playing instruments and there's a bright light.
Right.
So like imagine, you don't have lights or cities or anything. Like you're out in the fields all by yourself with like you and like one or two other guys watching
Moon and the
over.
stars lighting
Right.
up the valley.
Right. And you're guarding hundreds
Beautiful.
of sheep, right? And you have to fight wolves and you have to fight like lions to keep your flock safe,
Right.
right? And all of a sudden there's a bright light in the sky. Suddenly dudes are floating above you and they're like singing to you and saying
dudes.
like, "Hey, unto you is born this day in the city of David a savior who's Christ the Lord." And they're just like, oh what's happening? Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, be not afraid."
right. Oh, hey, so, don't mean to scare you here.
Right.
So
It's like if you're sitting in your bedroom at night, you're sleeping, right? You're all by yourself sleeping at home, and all of a sudden there's a dude in your house standing next to your bed, and he's like, "Boom, hey Mary,
until you this day.
you're gonna have a kid, and his name is gonna be Jesus. He's gonna save the world." And Mary's just like, "What's happening?"
I'm looking up what it says in Luke 1. I'm also trying to find where it talks about Joseph's dream. But yeah, the line literally said, Mary, like, "Don't be afraid, Mary," but also Mary, confused and disturbed, responded like she was definitely
Right.
distraught.
So I think the issue that people have with it is that they take the descriptions of other heavenly beings
Right.
that are in the Bible, right? So this moment that happens in Ezekiel, this vision that God gives him, and then also the vision that John gets
Right.
on the island of Patmos in Revelation of
Right,
these
the book of
other
Revelation.
beings that are guarding the throne, right? They are surrounding the throne,
Right.
Right. And so they equate those things and say that's what's hanging out and talking to
Right.
Mary, talking to the shepherds here, because they open up with "fear not," and so it's like, oh, for sure they're scary, like
Right.
they're scary looking because here's this description here. When like you describe, if some dudes just showed up above you in the air
there.
and they're super bright and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be scary no matter what,
Right.
Especially now or especially then before they had like this. I mean, I guess culturally there was an understanding of heavenly beings, but not maybe in the same way that we have it.
Not like appearing to them like that, like it wasn't like a common thing where like it's like, "Hey, yeah, last week I got visited by Gabriel, we were just chatting,
Yeah, I
just-
guess that's true. I mean, what other? Yeah, I
Well-
mean, because there are instances that would be in the Torah where angels would appear to people
Right.
that they would have
with
heard of.
with Abraham and Sarah.
Right.
right? With
Lot.
Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
or
Right.
not-
Jacob wrestled with God, right?
Jacob wrestled with
when
God.
When it says Jacob wrestled with God, I mean Jacob probably wrestling
is
with
that Jacob?
a messenger of God, right? Like an angel.
That's Jacob, yeah.
There's a lot of debate on that.
yeah, 'cause it's
Abraham,
Jacob's
Isaac,
ladder.
and Israel.
Right.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this time period in the 400 years of silence?
Yeah, at the end of it, yeah.
Right.
So, but like they didn't know they're at the end of it. So
Well,
they
yeah.
like there's kind of been no context. So the context that they have of like heavenly beings or like really anything outside of the normal rituals of sacrifices and offerings, like all that stuff. It's just all so foreign.
And basically, it's unexpected, right? Like
I mean, ultimately,
nobody's
that's why you're
expecting that,
afraid. Yeah.
right? Nobody's
Right.
expecting
Yeah.
that, you know. So,
Right. I mean,
so
have you
then,
ever been walking around your house and like your wife is asleep, and you
No, I
accidentally,
can't say that I've ever done that.
or your
not for me.
your roommate, where you're like, so the other person in your house is asleep, right?
Uh-huh.
And you are walking around trying not to make any noise, and you accidentally like knock over like a dish or something, and it makes a lot of noise, and they like wake up freaking out. And you're like, oh, it's just me, right? But like the angels, they can be like, oh, hey, it's just me, Gabriel, the angel. You just be like, hey, don't be afraid, I'm a friend.
It's
Like,
me, Gabriel. Yeah, no, I told that story a couple months ago now when when Meredith scared me, waking me up,
Right.
from sleep.
Dressed
she was
as
dressed
Sully.
as Sully from
Yeah.
Monsters Inc., had horns on her head, and I
Punched her.
punched her on accident. And she's fine. We're fine. It's all good. But yeah, no, like, you're going to disturb somebody out of that
Right.
like sort of slumber. So here's my question for you then, right? So this is kind of that's the explanation for the angels that are showing up and appearing
Right.
to people generally, right? So what are we looking at in Ezekiel? What are we looking at in Revelation? What's going on there? What's the story?
Yeah, I mean, that is a great question. I'm not an angelology expert.
Okay.
So
An angelologist.
Angelologist.
that's, I think, a real word.
Is it
Like-
angelology?
Angel. Yeah.
Angelology? That sounds wrong.
Let me look it up real quick.
It's like we have all this information about so much, and then it's like and then we say angelology, and just all of that
it's-
credibility.
Wikipedia
gone.
has an entry: Christian angelology.
It is angelology.
Ain't
Okay,
no way. There's got to be
Yeah.
a different
somebody's got to come up with a better word for that, right? Celestiology.
Celestiology.
Well, yeah.
That sounds
but
wrong.
Probably something
angels are
bad.
not necessarily all of the celestial beings, right?
Mm.
Like that's the thing, though, is like we're talking about seraphim and all these other descriptions. I don't remember what they're called.
So, like a seraph, I think in angelology is different than a seraphim.
I think
technically.
seraphim is the multiple of seraph.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Well, then never mind. I was wrong.
Oh, man.
It's a
Your
different.
smartness only goes so
It's a
far.
different word.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah,
it's got more letters. You know what I mean?
I think it's what is that Latin where it's like em is like the plural.
Yeah, if you
version.
say so.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, man.
so this is like I think like primarily like Catholic theology, but
Right.
it talks about seraphim and cherubim and
Right, cherubim.
thrones. I don't know what that means, but like basically, I think what we're seeing in those like prophetic visions and stuff like that is like angels are one type of like heavenly being, and seraphim are another type, and cherubim are another type. It's like we're never told specifically like, hey, there's 3 types of beings,
Right.
Or
Right.
You know.
It said he created the heavens,
right.
and like that also meant everything that belonged in the heavens. No?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Read why I oughta.
well, I mean, and that's the thing is that it's one of those little things that appears in Scripture that's like. I mean, there's plenty of them, but it's just like this is just a little peek behind the curtain. It's not like God really explains it all, lays it out there.
Right.
Oh, well, this actually is, this sort of thing. There's no survival guide for
Yeah.
angels. So,
Need the big illustrated encyclopedia of the Bible written by God himself.
right, exactly. So,
Like, I'm really curious about seraphim. Let me turn to that. You know?
well, my primary source of information on celestial beings, heavenly beings, and really kind of what God created and made and how He runs the world is Supernatural, the TV show.
Oh.
on WB, formerly WBCW.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah.
Solid choice.
Yeah, there's 15 seasons of great information.
You can't go
about-
wrong there. You can't go wrong there.
I mean, it says supernatural, so it really just encompasses
Exactly.
all- it's not right or left.
Have
It's
I-
just it's like the BBC of the news.
No,
Where do vampires show up in the Bible?
they're in there somewhere.
Oh man.
Oh no.
no,
Sorry.
you're not.
Another thing that really makes me mad
Okay, go on.
is when people online will be like, did you know there's unicorns in the
Oh,
Bible?
gosh. There are
Did you
literally
know-
dragons in the Bible. You
Yeah.
really believe this?
It really makes me so mad, man. It makes me so
Please
mad.
go to YouTube and see Reed just like melting on his microphone. He's
falling
like
apart.
squishing his face. Yeah, he's really distraught right now.
Yeah.
It's
So
just,
go ahead and explain unicorns,
yeah,
man.
There's
Go
just
ahead.
like a lot of ignorance, man. A lot of ignorance out there.
Go on.
So it's really complicated. It's not really complicated. Basically,
This is just like Reed's show and his time right now to really air out all of his grievances.
Reed's cranky corner.
Yeah, it is the.
Ew, I don't
it
like
is-
that name.
It's really gross. It is the Christmas season, so it's the airing of grievances.
Hey guys, come gather into my cranky corner.
Oh gosh, no, no!
done.
You can do that some other time.
We're gonna get
That
another
can be your own
host.
thing. That's
You're done.
we're gonna have a conversation off air, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so
You won't see him in the next episode.
right.
He won't be.
I'll be an angel. So unicorns. Basically, there's this thing called textual criticism, where like
Okay.
they take all of these manuscripts from way back in time that, like, they were written down originally and then copied and passed on and copied and passed on and copied and passed on. And so, it's like playing a game of telephone where it's like most of it gets brought along and some of it gets messed up, and sometimes people change it on purpose because they wanted to say something different than what it actually says. because,
Key drama.
Right. And so the textual criticism is the process of like tracing it back all the way as far back as you can to get the most original. And so like
The most accurate version.
The most
of,
accurate version.
like what was originally written,
Right.
and then how it's translated.
right,
now.
right. So unicorns show up and dragons and all that stuff because the King James version was translated back in like 16 something, right? 1647 or something. I don't remember.
Well, that's the version Jesus read, right? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
The King James. Jesus himself, wrote that.
So, but it was based on like not the best manuscripts,
Right.
and there's a lot you could go into with like the Septuagint and the Vulgate and all that stuff, and with them translating not from the original Greek but from like Latin and like stuff like that.
Right.
Well, not the original Hebrew for the Old Testament, Greek for the New Testament, but rather from the Septuagint, which is the Greek Old Testament, and the Vulgate, which is the Latin New Testament. Anyway,
Sorry, I'm awake now.
Bible
King James version originally 1611.
Okay.
Not from the best manuscripts possible.
Right.
So there were some hiccups in there. It wasn't like perfectly accurate, of
Right.
course. So it's like it's got unicorn and dragons and stuff like that. And so like later it was, textual criticism showed that that wasn't the most accurate translation. Not that it like disproves the Bible's truth, but like, we're constantly doing our best to make sure we get the perfect, as
Right.
perfect as we can to the original text.
Right. And so what it comes down to usually is that there was some description of a horned beast, right? Some
Yeah.
sort of beast with a horn.
Something
and so
like that.
it was translated as a unicorn,
Right.
which is, a stretch,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think other, I don't know what the other translations kind of throw in there, but
Yeah.
ox or something like along those lines. Maybe it had one horn. I don't know. We don't know that. Maybe there was a unicorn in there.
Maybe
Who-
it was talking
who
about
knows?
a deformed animal that like had two horns and one of them got lopped off or like just didn't grow properly.
Right,
So it's a defective,
Maybe it's a rhino,
Oh, what?
a rhinoceros, maybe, perhaps.
Or
A
Narwhal.
narwhal.
Oh, narwhal.
I said it first. Did
My
you
horn
know?
can pierce the sky.
Did you know that LA County granted a 6-year-old a permit to own a unicorn? She wrote a letter. I'm so glad you brought this up because I knew I read that this morning. She wrote a letter to LA County, the animal care department, and said, "Dear LA County, I would like your approval if I could have a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one. Please send me a letter saying yes." And they granted her a permit, so that if you can find one, you can keep one.
That's government overreach in my mind. I mean, that's that little girl's right to have a unicorn in her backyard. The government has no right to tell her she can't have a unicorn.
Who can tell me what animals
Does she
I
not
can
need a
and
zoo
cannot
this
license
is
own?
for that,
ridiculous.
What is a zoo?
I mean, what is a zoo if not just a backyard with animals?
Yeah,
You know
privately
what I mean?
owned.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiger King, chill out.
Man.
Yeah. So, as you're celebrating Christmas this year,
Remember the angel on your tree.
angels. Yes.
The angel on your tree.
Rip
is-
the rings. Sorry.
Rip them rings. So
Rip the wings right off of it.
wait, so do you think that the angels that appeared to Mary and the shepherds and, just basically the angels that appeared as kind of people-like, human-like,
Yeah.
no wings? You think no wings?
Probably not wings.
I don't think
Probably
so.
not wings?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Dang, that's tough. That's
You know,
a tough
do
learn,
you-
I don't think otherwise. I'd probably agree with you. It doesn't say that there's wings,
Yeah.
But it is a little tough to hear, That's a tough thing to hear. I mean, because what a beautiful image, right? Of like a person, with
I mean,
some
no one's
wings,
telling you can't like draw it. You're just wrong.
I mean, sure, it can be just your imagination,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
creative writing, your drawing.
I would just love to know where people got the babies from. You know what I'm saying? Like
baby
the baby
angels?
angels, like them chubby, redhead, curly hair baby angels.
Right. And usually they call them the cherubims, right? Like those are the cherubs,
Oh,
right?
I guess so.
I don't know why those are the ones that they
Yeah.
chose to be that. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from.
I just when this is like a memory I forgot about till just now when I'm like describing these little babies. My parents did this thing. I think I was like 7 or 8. But they did this thing where they sent in our name to this website and they sent us a certificate that said our name and then like the origin of our name and like
Okay,
the
cool.
meaning of our name.
Yeah.
And so like
Lizard.
from the tribe of the lizards.
Lizard folk.
From the lizard folk. So mine, I mean, good for them, I guess. But like the paper was this like really thick, like old timey distressed looking paper, you know? And it had like all the text in the middle, but it was tiny because all around it were these little cherubims, I guess, like these little baby angels.
Yeah.
But they were like, there was like an Asian one and like a white one and a black one. And like you could tell, like,
All the children of the world.
yeah, multicultural cherubims right there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Now thinking about it, like, good for you. Like, you really tried.
Oh man, okay, I like it. I like that. Multicultural. Did you
But
find
it
anything
always
on
weirded
cherubim?
me out.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I
Strange.
stopped
Yeah.
looking mostly.
I feel like that's going to be a real deep dive.
It really is.
that,
That's why I
yeah.
stopped because it was like there's so many directions I could go. I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah,
and
that's
right
kinda
now
crazy.
is not the best time for that.
I mean, you've got time, right? Like if you listener, you've got time to wait till we can
You
figure this
listener.
out. You listener.
DM us what you find.
Yes.
On
Yes. So
Instagram.
here's a question just quickly as we kind of wrap up this angel conversation.
Mhm.
Angel or star on your tree?
Oh.
Angel or star? And then I'll tell you what sort of angel I have on my tree.
Oh, so you're already answering.
Oh yeah,
Angel.
that's fair. I chose angel. That's mine. But I was curious about your
My tree is up.
and what's on it.
I cannot remember. My wife decorates the tree.
Yeah,
It probably is like a Mickey Mouse.
it's just a
Honestly,
Mickey.
It's
Fair.
probably a Mickey Mouse.
Fair.
It's not even a Christmas Mickey. Just he's up there.
Just Mickey.
It's just a mouse. It's a dead
Right.
mouse up there.
We're members of the Order of the Mouse.
Too far.
Toaster
Flashbacks to
oven.
that toaster oven. Yeah.
Oh no!
Beat
Have to put the E
toaster
on
oven
this episode again.
Yeah, there we go. Every time. Trigger warning.
I'm Star.
Your star. Team star.
Hi,
Team
Star.
Star.
Team
I
star.
have some new Christmas trees though in my house,
Mhm.
and they don't have a star yet.
It's just tree.
It's just tree and ornaments
there.
and stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've always been angel. I think my parents had an angel for a long time. I think we switched to a star at one point because I remember it was like heavy, and so it kind of you had to
Yeah.
make sure it was like not leaning and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we had an angel up there for a long time, and then I got married to my wife, and
A
Yeah.
Disney adult.
well, a Disney adult. And so it's not necessarily a Disney thing because it's actually a Tasmanian devil
That's
with wings
right.
on my tree. It's been on my tree every year. And it's just one of the quirkiest things I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
weird.
it is so weird, dude. There's a freaking Tasmanian devil with wings.
With
That's like the
wings.
only Looney Tunes thing you got in your whole
Yeah,
house.
I mean, like, Looney Tunes is great, but like, what the heck? This
But
is
it
so
kind of
random.
fits. It fits.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
definitely
Meredith
gonna
loves
fit
it.
when these two boys are born.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, a couple
Two little
couple
Tasmanian
Taz,
devils running around.
couple Tazes can run around.
Tasmanian angels.
Oh, yeah. So it's super random, but Meredith loves it, and she also her family. Just real quick story. Her family, they each have like this weird thing. It's not like a weird thing, but they collect. They collected things as kids, and so they have items that like are theirs to collect.
Yeah.
You know, like that they got for Christmas. You know, every year from I guess their grandma.
I don't know.
Grandparents. And so maybe they got one from their parents
Reed,
too. I don't
are you
exactly
plagued
know.
by this? What's
I can
happening?
barely remember who gets me presents for when I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember who got her
They
presents
they
when
have
she was a
great
kid.
memories, and they keep track of this stuff, and so. But anyway, so they all have their own individual item, and so Meredith's item is in fact angels. It's Christmas angels, and so
interesting.
so she has a tub. There's a tub in my house
Mm-hmm.
full of angels that she received as a kid. And
Wow.
So, yeah, there's
Does
a ton.
she display them anywhere for
She does
Christmas?
not. She does not. So it's not like a, it's not like really a thing anymore, but that was a thing. Does that
Oh,
make
I
sense?
see.
So like they
Uh-huh.
received them every year.
Mhm.
And so she got angels. I don't know what Mitchell got. I don't know if he got something, like that in
Oh,
that same
sad.
week.
Did,
I'm sure
but
he did,
I don't know
I
what
wouldn't
his
be
was either.
surprised.
I know Aubrey's is snow globes.
Snow globes.
And so I told Aubrey there was a limit on the number of snow globes we could put out in our house. She surpasses that limit so fast, and she just like
Well,
puts
she has
them
so
up,
many to display.
and she just hopes I don't notice.
What's
And
the limit?
So I was like, you can have 3.
Three?
snow globes?
She's got like 50 of them, I think. I
Bro,
don't
like
know.
give her 10
You
or
got a whole
something.
house
Well,
now, man.
she started just
3.
putting them up, and I just I caved so fast.
That's
and they're
right.
just
That's
everywhere.
the right
So-
answer.
I'm proud of you.
Let her have
I don't
this
even
one
notice
season.
them anymore. They're everywhere. This one season, she decorates for like every season. It's like
Snow globes.
right.
The snow globe season.
So we're
Does she
gonna have
have
Halloween globes.
Yeah,
and-
does she have non-Christmas snow globes?
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe like a New York snow globe. I feel like that's a thing, Like,
I don't know.
I
Snow
was gonna
globes
say
aren't my
Eiffel
thing.
Tower, the freaking Empire State Building.
Yeah, you've seen the Eiffel Tower.
yeah,
in New York,
in
New
New
York.
York, Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Grand
so,
Central Station.
So anyway,
Wow.
that was my thought. Angels or stars? There you go.
I remember having an angel at one point in my childhood and a star at one point in my childhood. But it was like we just flip flopped.
Mm.
We weren't really like set in one
Yeah.
camp.
I guess why I choose star because I love like the minimalistic look of it. Modern.
Whoa.
But my parents have this angel and it is god awful ugly.
Oh no.
It is
really?
like really gaudy and it's heavy and like the face is kind of creepy and like
Yeah.
they're committed to it. And I think subconsciously that's why I choose star because it's just not the
Don't want to
vibe.
be reminded of that angel.
No,
like, at all.
It's just not it. It's not it.
Dang.
So you guys do you decorate your trees with a theme, or is it just a hodgepodge of ornaments?
See, I literally was about to ask that very same question. So it's a great question. Theme or just stuff?
Yeah.
So again, Meredith in her family, they received ornaments every year also
Right.
from their family. So they've got multiple ornaments from different family members for years and years and years, right? And so she has a collection of a ton of ornaments throughout from her childhood and her life, right? Which I think is really cool because there's like a whole little like
It's like a story, right?
yeah,
there.
it's like
Yeah.
a box of history, and so it's kind of cool to set out. So in saying that, our tree right now, which is a skinny tree, we actually just let you in a little bit. We didn't put up a tree this year, and it really is really not that bad. But like, we're sad we didn't do it, but we're also not like super
No, I have an idea.
intense to do it anyway. Meredith's pregnant with twins, and so everything's just super difficult. It's like, not a big deal. Houses are wrecked. There's so many clothes and baby things everywhere.
No,
it's like,
here's
it'll
here's
be
what
okay.
you do. You take your diaper closet, pull the diaper boxes out, and make a diaper tree.
That's a really great
just
idea.
stack up trees,
Just
yeah.
stack them up
I
in a
mean,
period.
That's a great-
Whoa, pyramid.
Stack them in a period.
We are on fire today.
Killing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so a diaper
Make
tree would have
make
been a good
that
idea.
Make that your tree.
See, and so anyway, our tree does usually we have like this weird, awkward, skinny tree because we have a small house, small living room. So our tree's in there. It's real skinny and it's just full to the brim. I mean, it's packed with ornaments, random, sporadic ornaments.
Mhm.
And it's more fun that way to me. Like as a grown up, it was just kind of like, we had a few little family ornaments, little things that we made, little freaking can toppers with a snowman painted on it or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the rest of it was just kind of here's like 2 packs of this red ornament style or whatever, right? And so we would throw them up there. And that's what our tree was. But now we load up these ornaments. And so every year, or really anytime we go on a trip, Meredith and I, we get an ornament from the location. We actually get an ornament and a magnet. And so our fridge has magnets from all over the place. But then we have an ornament also. And so we always have a bunch of new ornaments to put up. And so, yeah, the tree just ends up being like this weird, colorful, like thing. And it's
Tasmanian
full.
devil.
Tasmanian devil up on the top. There's like, freaking Jamaica thing on there and Nashville and some weird little thing Meredith had from when she was a kid. And it's cool. I like it. It's just full of stuff. So, yeah. Anybody else?
Wow. Well, mine are. So I have several trees. I really enjoy the Christmas vibe, the lighting. So we've got like pre-lit garlands, and we have like a tiny 3-foot tree that's like our Charlie Brown tree. Like literally, it's
Love
just. I did not know it was this like skimpy. Like it. I opened it and I'm like, yeah, wait.
Oh.
It was real like naked. And so we just put a red ornament at the top, and it's like by this like ceramic little village. So because I have like a half wall and we decorated, and so I have a little Charlie Brown tree, and then we have another 3-foot tree. But that one's like primarily gold and like twine wrapped like ornaments.
Okay.
Like just in different like shapes.
Okay.
So that one's on there, and then there's one. Like a tiny one on the dining room table, and that's like rusticy. It's like got white, like a white little tree skirt that's fuzzy and like gold ornaments. And then there's one in our den that one is got like ornaments that I've collected since I've had like my own place, my own tree. Like I get an ornament every year.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, reflected to my like what I'm either like my life stage or like, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Cutie. And then
so that one's just full of stuff. Or is
no.
it
it's
has
like
a theme
starting.
too, though?
Well, it's primarily like a color theme and then like random little things in there. But I try to keep the colors neutral as possible. I'm not a fan of like the super like bright color, and I don't prefer like colorful Christmas lights. I don't hate them.
Another good question.
They're not my preference.
Okay, before we get to that question, I want to ask that one too, but let's get Reed's. Reed, what are you, man?
Reed looks shocked.
Yeah. Growing up, my mom usually did like themes. So like we used to have like a hodgepodge, and then my mom switched to themes. And so it was like not every year she would change, but every couple of years we would change themes. And then when we got married, Aubrey and I talked about like, what do we want our tree to look like? And I was like, I like themes. And she was like,
I don't.
Right. She didn't. So we have a theme on the tree, but also a lot of random things on there. So it's like a theme with added bonuses. The one that sticks out the most is an ornament that is a roll of toilet paper, and it says 2020 on it because of when everybody went crazy and bought all the toilet paper in the world. So that was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I hope everybody has that ornament. Do you have that ornament?
I don't. I would love it.
Yeah, I mean, we have that ornament. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
marked a nation.
What'd you say?
It marked a nation right there.
It really did, And so, yeah, but that's the next question here. Colored lights or, so you got LED multicolor lights, or do you just like single color lights? What's the vibe?
Warm white lights.
Okay.
Not the cool lights.
Not the cool LEDs. Okay. Reed, what's your take?
It depends on the theme of the tree, So I enjoy both.
Gotcha.
We have colored lights on our tree right now and white lights on our house.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, there's a thing. There's LED lights that exist that are not offensive or abrasive to look at. They exist out there that are like a warmer color. They're just LED, you know, they're better for the environment. And
screw that guy.
but they're LEDs, they last longer, all that stuff, right? But they're a warmer color. But in the world out there, too many houses go, I'm gonna switch to LEDs, and they got the bluest freaking lights on their house.
It's so hard to
or
look
on their
at.
tree, and it is awful. I hate it so much. Now, I don't have a problem with LEDs, like I said, because you can have it warmer. And I don't have a problem with the colors even. Like, we, on our tree now, you know, like I said, we switched to, or, you know, as I became married, I have a crazy tree, you know, there's all kinds of stuff on it. So there's colored lights on there. There's like different sizes of lights on there. So there's like a few strands of like those little tiny ones. And then there's another strand of like the big, thick chonker lights. And they look great. It looks awesome. I love it. It's just like vibrant and fun. It's just like a good time. Maybe a little bit of an assault on the senses, but it's fun. There's a Taz
a lot
at
of
the top.
Christmas.
True.
The vibe of it.
But my like real preference would be to have just like a really nice, just warm lighting of the white lights. I just think it's really classy, really clean looking. I don't mind either way, but that's like my favorite. So
You want to know what
Sounds
really?
like you really do mind, though.
I mean, I don't.
No,
You got
I
some
do
very
such a
strong,
preference.
No,
some
it's-
very strong opinions about lights.
No, it's about the color of the LED. If the
Yeah,
lighting
that's where
there
it's at.
is too blue, if it's white but then it's too blue, it's disrespectful. It's not
Disrespectful.
okay. It's not okay.
You're offending Jesus.
Exactly. I think Jesus is like, man, turn it down a little bit, you know?
Also, do you know what grinds my gears about these lights?
Go.
I love. I'll go multiple times a month, like it within the Christmas season, December, to go look at different houses, Christmas lights in different neighborhoods. I went the other day, and this just like pissed me off because we see
Language. My gosh.
it made me very angry. There are houses you can tell they ran out of the warm white,
Oh, no.
and they switched to a different white. And what is that white? It is a blue.
It's that blue
white
light.
It is disgusting.
So
and
very
it's
cool.
just so hard to look at. There was one house, it was a beautiful house. They did the lights so well, and it was the warm white, and it fit with like the look of the house, and it was great. And they wrapped a tree, and it was beautiful. And the different decorations they had on the house, on the lawn, it was the LED, very, very blue.
Ugh.
And
You hate
It's
to
irresponsible.
I hated it.
It really
It is so irresponsible. It's just not cute anymore. Take it down.
Well, it's like when we first switched over to LEDs, you know, you get a pass a little bit. Like, you know, you were trying to be on the bleeding edge, like, oh, things are different now, trying LEDs out, and so there's not that many options. There's options now, people. Get the right color. Get it. It's softer on your eyeballs.
So what are your strong opinions about Christmas? You should send us those.
We don't have very many.
No, not that many. One more quick thing. Have y'all seen the lazy lights is what I call them? They're projected lights.
Yeah.
You get a little projector, you shove it into your yard in front of your house, and then it shines lights up on your house. And sometimes there's different things on it. We call those lazy lights in our house because
It's the projector.
that's lazy, man.
Yeah.
You got to do better than that.
My parents have those.
Yeah, no. It's
My
come
dad's
on.
excuse, we're old.
See,
I
there
guess.
you go. See, there
I
it
guess.
is. It's
You
lazy
get a
lights,
pass.
and that's all right. But I mean, do better. Our house is tough too because we don't have outlets on the outside, and so we got to run a cable. You did it, but we haven't done it. And our
My
street
wife did it.
Yeah.
She ran the cable. I hung the lights actually.
Yeah.
So
Good for you.
It's a good time. So anyway, let us know your thoughts on lighting at Christmas time. What is
whatever.
your opinion?
whatever peeves you.
Tell me what your thoughts on angels or stars.
If you have warm white and cool white, pick a side. Pick a side. Don't do both.
Figure it out.